Hey everybody, I am back finally with my second book review. Mind you, I finished this book roughly a month ago. It took me maybe 2 weeks to finish, so roughly 10 days. On the last book review, I told y'all that I would be reading The Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukav. That's how I'm gonna pronounce his name. If I started it, I apologize. But yes, this is the book that I read. It took me roughly 10 days after I read the Screwtape Letters. So I'm gonna go ahead with my book review. I will be honest with you, as I always am. It was a lot, even for me, who is a lot further than some people that I know into my spiritual journey. As I talk about a lot, I went through the dark night of the soul about 3 years ago. Before then, there were numerous awakenings throughout my entire life. Needless to say, as I'm expanding my spiritual knowledge and gaining more knowledge and becoming more mindful, this book right here was even a little, sometimes a lot more advanced than I expected it to be. So if you are reading this book or will read it based off of this review, I appreciate you. You know, like I said, I'm going to be honest. This is my book review, my opinion. So please, you can take it with a grain of salt, whatever it is. We could talk about it. We could agree to disagree. We could agree. It doesn't matter. But anywho, this was a book of ahas, or ooh, or oh, or wait, that I'll expect this further on my spiritual journey, further along. So anywho, let me see my notes that I took here. So this was originally written in 1989. This is a 25th anniversary book that I picked up off of Amazon. Oprah and Maya Angelou wrote prefaces in this 25th anniversary. And also comes with a study guide, which I have done. I'm probably like 8 pages in. Mind you, I moved about a week after I finished reading it. So, do you see all of these notes? Y'all, it's yep. I might as well have highlighted the entire book. It is so much and too much to go over everything into this book review, but I'm going to go ahead and just start off. This book helps you understand the difference between your soul and your personality. That threw me for a loop, can't lie. And it's a deeper understanding of what evolution really is. Not the textbook or our science version of evolution, but the actual soul revolution. How you evolve in this lifetime, how you evolved into this lifetime, and how you will evolve out of this lifetime and into a new lifetime and lifetimes after. It talks about karmic obligations, which was that is where it hit me hard. Karmic obligations, responsibilities, and how they transcend into new lifetimes and reincarnates, because you may think you got off scot-free from doing some shit to somebody else, some dirty shit, and you died and you didn't pay for it, but you reincarnate into a new lifetime, or you pass that karmic responsibility to your lifelines, to your children, to your grandchildren. You know what that's called? That's called generational curses. Yep. So, my favorite part of this book was talking about the differences between marriages and spiritual partnerships and how you can ultimately have both. Some people prefer one over the other. Me, myself, having been married before and having strengthened my my spirituality and gone through one major relationship after my divorce, I realized that a spiritual partnership for me may be better than a marriage unless I meet my spiritual partner and my husband within the same person. Makes sense? Probably not to a lot of people, but that's okay because it makes sense to me. Open-mindedness is needed, as I told you before with the Screwtape Letters. A lot of the books that I read are not for closed-minded people. I am not a closed-minded person, or at least I like to think that I am not. Some things I might be. But, anywho, a lot will be mentioned, and it may go over your head depending on where you are, on where your level of consciousness is. Remember, you can only understand as deep as your consciousness allows you to understand. So, creativity, it speaks about creativity and reverence, which is, I'm gonna just go straight to that because that was super important to me as I love to give reverence to my ancestors when I pray, when I manifest. So reverence, what it says about reverence in this book, which is very important to me, is reverence is an attitude of honoring life. Reverence is also simply the experience of accepting that all life is in and of itself of value. Meaning for me, all of this is exactly what it's supposed to be. And if I am giving reverence, if I am a person of reverence, that I accept the experiences of this life, especially this life now that we are living in 2020. We are all experiencing this pandemic, and now and finally people are acknowledging systemic racism in the United States. But we are all experiencing this life together. But for reverences means you are accepting that this life is, no matter what it is of value. That was important to me to acknowledge exactly what in this book meant for reverence. So, words and phrases that you will hear often in this book, like I said, some may go over your head at certain times because they speak in different contexts of these words. Soul, personality, reverence, karmic, multisensory, incarnates, 5-dimension, evolution, and consciousness. Those are a lot of the words that are continuously repeated throughout the book. And so you learn, you get a deeper, better understanding of the words, how to use them in different contexts and things like that. How I compare this book to any other book that I have read, which I read, The 48 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of Power, in my opinion, which I will not give a review for because I do not plan on reading that shit ever again. It's been a couple years. The 48 Laws of Power for me are the personality, the ways to deceive, the ways to betray, the ways of a person who has little to no moral compass, little reverence for other people. That's how I read. 48 Laws of Power is a great book. It's if you have little to no reverence of other people, that's your book. If you do, this book is for people with reverence, or the desire to have some reverence for other people, and how to gain more moral clarity, have a defined moral compass of how to navigate the physical world, the physical earth that we live on, the physical beings, the human beings that we coexist with, and us as spiritual beings, for us as spiritual beings, having a human experience here on the physical plane. So when it talks about a multisensory person and then a 5D, those are the personality to soul. That's what's talked about here. So spirituality gives you, you're out of the box. So there's the free will to choose. Like, yes, it may be morally wrong. It may be, but how do I feel about it? Yeah. So religion doesn't matter. It is what it is. You shouldn't do it. Boom. That's that. Whereas spirituality is more of a, I felt like it was right. It was wrong, but I felt it was right. My spirit felt it was right. It was right. So you're there. It's not defined. But that is something that, so the way that it defines authentic power is our deeper understanding leads us to another kind of power, a power that loves life in every form that it appears, a power that does not judge what it encounters, a power that perceives meaningfulness and purpose in the smallest details upon the earth. This is authentic power. When we align our thoughts, emotions, and actions with the highest part of ourselves, we are filled with enthusiasm, purpose, and meaning. Life is rich and full. We have no thoughts of bitterness. We have no memory of fear. We are joyously and intimately engaged within our world. This is the experience of authentic power. Authentic power has its roots in the deepest source of our being. Authentic power cannot be bought, inherited, or hoarded. An authentically empowered person is incapable of making anyone or anything a victim. An authentically empowered person is one who is so strong, so empowered that the idea of using force against another is not a part of his or her consciousness. This book, I highly suggest it to anyone. I will highly suggest this to anyone. Not like I did with the Screwtape Letters, but this book for anyone who is open-minded. Open-minded, because remember, it's not religious. Religion is spirituality. They are parallel, okay? So you have to be open-minded, because we're not, you know, where it mentions Jesus in this book, you're not going to get to talking about Jesus in the Bible too much, all right? We're talking about the evolution of our soul and our spirit. And how it resonates to us being on this physical plane to this day as a multisensory or 5D person. So yes, I highly suggest Gary Zukav. So being a girl from the South, and we did Screwtape Letters because everybody thought, a lot of people just tuned into the video because they thought it was a book about DJ Screw. Gary Zukav, like I said, if I'm slaughtering his name, I'm sorry, is actually from Port Arthur, Texas. So if you're a Southern girl, Southern man like me, this may be someone from your hometown that you want to read. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. He's written other books that were bestsellers, but this is the one that I suggest to anyone. Like I said, I just set my timer. I read for 15-20 minutes a day. I was done with this book in 10 days. So, I hope you enjoyed. Next book on my list, I don't have it, but I have a book. My next book, it's actually, I am going to read The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle. That is the book that I am reading next. So, I'll start reading that book next week and probably done within a week or so. So, be expecting a book review sometime this month. Peace, blessings, love, all that good shit. Ashe. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to my page. Also, comment if you have read the book already and let me know how you felt about it. Peace. Mwah.